Hi, crafty friends. This is Amanda. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Michigan. Thanks for taking a few moments out of your precious time to watch my 29th video. I really appreciate it. Today, we're going to be playing with Flowering Cactus Medley. It's a really great medley that comes with tons of unique things like some felt for these little flowers and some DSP that you get to cut out along with some dies. Super fun. Look at these. You could cut out these cactuses and not even have to stamp them, which is so fun and great. For this next cactus that I'm going to be bringing up here right now, it's already a die. I cut two of them out of Pear Pizzaz and glued them together to make a longer cactus. And then I cut another one from Pear Pizzaz, and on the back of this sheet has this pattern that I thought looked like a cactus, so I cut it out of that, but it's so thin that I had to give it stability with another piece of Pear Pizzaz. All right, we're going to take a piece of Heather Highland. It's cut at 10 by 7 and scored at 5 for the base. A piece of Knighted Navy cut at 4 1/4 by 6 1/2. A piece of soft suede cut at 4 3/4 by 1 3/4. This is going to be your leftover piece from this piece, which is cut at 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And finally, a piece of white cut at 4 3/4 by 4. All of the dimensions will be in my blog. All right, now we're going to take a piece of Masking Magic or whatever your favorite mask is, and we're going to mask off a circle. Now I just did, a 3/4 of a circle because, I'm going to be doing a night scene, so I don't need all of the sun here. If you're going to play up the Calypso Coral from this medley, you can use Calypso Coral here, but instead I'm going to use the always beautiful Pumpkin Pie. And I know you're thinking Pumpkin Pie is beautiful. Oh, and a night scene is gorgeous, I think. Then I'm going to be using Mango Melody. No, that's not true. Melon Mombo. Sorry about that. Ooh, although I wonder if Mellow Mangody would be good. All right, next we're going to bring in the Night of Navy. And I'm going to go through these, and get a really great blend here to make the night scene look great. I got this idea for this card from Jennifer McGuire. Last December, she had a really cool fun fold that I wanted to do. And I'm not a fun fold girl, so it had to be something special. I will link her video below. I really hope you guys do a 5 by 7, but if you choose not to do a 5 by 7, she has the measurements for an A2. This is only the measurements for an A7 or a 5 by 7. So I really hope you try it at least once for a 5 by 7, guys. All right, so take your piece of soft suede, and then we're going to take our largest stitch rectangle die, and we're going to line these up perfectly on our sandwich. You know what I mean? The sandwich of the of your cutting plates. I know I am taking a long time here and it's like in slow motion. You guys are going, oh, all right, get to it. But I really want this perfectly perfect. And notice I'm bringing it towards the bottom. So the left and the right and the bottom all have equal amount of paper around it. The top I don't care about. All I care about are the side, the bottom, and the other side. We're going to do some partial die cutting, and we are not going to cut out the top of the rectangle. And the top, what I mean is the top of our card right here, it's the left-hand side. So if you're looking at it with me the wrong way because the card is, bent on its side right now, you want to have the top and the bottom and the left-hand side all equal distances from the die. The right-hand side or the top of our card is going to be bigger, and that's the only place that I want it bigger here. So this is why I'm using purple tape, and I'm doing this really carefully to make sure everything is great. Now, our cutting plates, or these old cutting plates, had a lip on them. And so about a quarter of an inch, it gets slimmer. And so that's why I can line this up with my die and partially die cut. I'm going to take the bottom part in. The part that I partially die cut, I'm going to go in second. I tried it the other way. It's a terrible pain. Please know you're going to put it in only this way, and it'll be so much easier. If not, it keeps slipping and, you can't do anything about it. It's just a pain. So put it in this way and it will come out. What we're looking for is a partial die cut rectangle. And I think you'll see here, it wasn't very hard. It only took me one try to figure it out. I did a piece of scrap paper and I could figure it out. I only had to practice it once and it did out perfectly. So we got a U here instead of a rectangle, which is absolutely perfect. We're going to take off our purple tape. And now we're ready to begin doing all the scoring so we can make this fun fold. You ready? All right, I'm so excited. Now, this die cut perfectly these two pieces of cardstock together. This is soft suede, like I said, and a piece of white, so easy peasy. It just smushed it down enough that I had to get my finger and kind of pull them apart. So no big deal. I'm going to turn this piece of soft suede over. I'm going to line it up where it would have cut if it was a rectangle, and then score there. So it's actually the half of the rectangle. All right. Perfect. And now we have to score a bottom piece. This bottom piece can be anywhere between a half of an inch and a quarter of an inch. It's up to you. I chose to do actually in the middle of a half an inch and a quarter inch. I used the horizontal lines on my trimmer, just used the scoring blade only. I made sure I pushed that blade way up top because I didn't want to have to do all this over again, and just scored that middle piece. Okay. All right. And like I said, I did it someplace between a quarter of an inch and a half. Anywhere is just fine. We're going to pull that up, score it nicely. And here we have our little tent. All right. Now I made a huge mistake here. I only wanted to put a little adhesive down to mark this paper. And of course, I didn't want to go below my score line, but I definitely didn't want to put this much adhesive down. Luckily, you see, I didn't really push down the paper, so I was able to bring it back up. Now, you could cut this if you're good at cutting. I'm not. So what I did was I marked it, and then I pulled it up, and really, it won't be this hard if you only put one little dot of adhesive down. And I use dot runners for this. Now I'm going to go to the middle of this piece of white and then cut to the left and to the right, or the up and the down, because there's, those fine, those thin edges. So cut in the middle. Now I'm going to use my bone folder and burnish all this down because I just pulled it back up. You don't have to do that, but that was normal for me of putting that down. I didn't realize how much I didn't push down my glue. So, Now this is a 1/4 inch double-sided adhesive, tear and tape. And all you have to do is put that on the edge. And now I'm going to decorate it here. If I were you, I'd wait to decorate it. But if you are going to decorate it, make sure that you only put your adhesive on the bottom of the fold. So you don't want any adhesive to go on your sunset. I chose to use the die cuts, the paper, the DSP that was already, ready to be cut, that had different things. Those are different. They're not both mint macaroon and Mossy Meadow. One's mint macaroon, Mossy Meadow. One's Pear Pizzaz and Mossy Meadow. If you're going to right now, make your card all pretty, do not put these flowers on because it makes it extra thick. All right. So just wait to do it. I'm going to have to sit here and wait for these things to dry. But not only does it take forever to dry, I am going to have to, have this extra thickness under it. Okay. Now notice that the piece of Night of Navy is, about a 1/4 of an inch on each side. So we're going to take 1/8 of an inch. Yes, they actually do have 1/8 of an inch tear and tape, which you do not tear, because if you tear it, then half the adhesive comes off. You can also use dimensionals, or not really dimensionals. If you use the foam adhesive strips, that would work well here too. I just chose to use this. It's a little bit trickier to get it in and out, but I didn't want to have all that dimension. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I varnished this down really well before, remember? Now I'm going to stick this in the middle, and I don't do a very good job of putting it in the middle. And I'm going to really kind of get that that middle piece adhered to my Night of Navy. So here we go. It's going to pull up. Yep. All right. So all we have to do is turn it over, lightly lay it down, and put it on very well. Now I'm going to take a smaller circle and cut a finger hole. If you do not have a small circle punch, you could use a die, but you'd have to do that beforehand. Or you could use like the Blue and Duet, maybe. That would work. Just something that you could get a tick mark out of. Or you can even do it with a pair of scissors if you're good at cutting. Apparently, I'm terrible at cutting. Now we're going to attach it to our card base and just making sure everything is adhered down. I really love this night sky, and I think this lent perfectly to a 5x7. And I love the fact that I could, we doubled it up, and then we hid the fact that we doubled up that cactus. Now here, I'm just trying to loosen the fibers of this area of the cardstock so that this could go under really well. If you happen to tear it a little bit, it's not the end of the world because we're going to be covering it. Just don't try to tear it because it really does need that, So just be very gentle with it. I thought I'd really wanted to use these pearls because they were the right color, but no, not for this one. Maybe rhinestones if you chose not to use the felt pieces. Now this 1 3/4 by 4 3/4, I purposely told you that size so that you would cut it and that it would look, a little bit wavier than not. So cut it. Don't leave it that big. Don't cut it in half. Don't do it straight, you guys. Cut it. Make it a little bit, because, dirt's a little bit wavy. Then I use Versamark to put the cactus and the saying, "I'm always here for you." And let's see, what do we do next? I think we do the inside of the card next. I have the "Life Gets Kind of Prickly," and I'm going to add that to a piece of Heather Highland that's a little bit over 1/4 of an inch. And my hands are filthy at this point, guys, from all that blending. You'll see how many cards I made. I really loved making this. And it really didn't take more than 30 minutes for a fun fold. That's pretty good, including a night scene. So, yeah. And I did the Night of Navy here so that it would match with the top of the sky. All right. Now, this medley comes with 2 kinds of twine, some of the natural and some of the Calypso Coral. And this natural one hated me. It fell off, part of it fell off of the spool, and then it wouldn't go. Oh, look this is crazy, right? After all of this, I'm having problems with doing this little pull tab thingy. So here we go. Pull tab's done. Reattach my "Life Gets Kind of Prickly," and we'll do the inside of our card. And for that, we're going to need a piece of Whisper White that is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, which is a natural size of a panel. And we're going to ink up our cactus with Pear Pizzaz, and then we're going to do some shadowing with Mossy Meadow and an ink dauber. And then I'm going to huff on it and put it on the corner, which is my go-to. One of these days, I'm going to move it around, I promise. And then you can write anything in this, guys. I mean, the sky's the limit. If I was doing if I was doing it for a different reason, if I didn't want to just stay within this medley, because, I was hoping to stay within this medley for you guys, then, you could do birthday, you could do lots of things. And you can even write a fun message at the top, too, with a white gel pen, and it would be perfect. All right, now I'm going to put my regular size dimensionals here at the bottom and pop up this piece of soft suede that I did cut by hand. Like I said, you could do it 3/4. It's about 3/4 of an inch high. Now, I should have put my little barrel cactus, or whatever you want to call it, here on the other side so I could put both cactuses, but no, I forgot. And I didn't put the little flower on either. I'll remember to do that now. But I think this card is super cute. Please let me know what you think about this in the description. Also, if you have any questions, go to my blog. If you want to watch Jennifer McGuire's video, it is very descriptive and very well done. Of course, she always says perfect videos. Now, this, if you chose, you didn't want to do a night scene, this is a piece of the DSP that comes with it. And I redid the measurements after this one because it's so hard to get in and out. But I did this with Pear Pizzaz, Mint Macaroon, and Heather Highland. So it was, lots of pretty colors. But here, okay, finally it went in. I didn't probably pull up on that tab down below too. And here's where I did another piece of that DSP, and I played up the Calypso Coral. So this has Mint Macaroon and Calypso Coral. And notice that I did a terrible job cutting it. So that is why I knew I couldn't cut it. I knew I had to use my trimmer. Here's the first one that I made. And I did it with Mossy Meadow because, I wanted to keep within the compounds of the color scheme of the medley. And I'm like, why is the sky green? And then I called my upline and she's like, well, try to do some DSP. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, a night scene. My upline is Lori. And if you were to watch her videos, you would fall in love with her. She's just the sweetest thing ever. I'm going to put her link of her videos below. She is a wonderful upline. All right, guys, let me know what you think. You have a blessed day. I'd love to read your comments. So please comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions or need anything, or just let me know. You guys have the blessed day. I hope you subscribe. It would make my day, and give me a thumbs up. Thanks so much, guys.